Hello and welcome to the Von Gino Predicament. I'm your host, Steve Von Gino, and I'm a moderate centrist, bit of a milquetoast fence sitter. I'm coming at you live from Columbuston, Ohio, recently voted #1 city for getting bed bugs standing up. And I'm here to bring you all the news that the lying mainstream media wants to hide due to them being corrupt and possibly, many are saying, wearing diapers. Today, we're going to be talking all about KRISTEN Stewart, star of the Twilight series, for which she was, of course, paid about $75 million and for some reason decided to do a bunch of indie movies with bad catering instead of retiring forever. Well, she recently did a photo shoot for Rolling Stone magazine, or maybe it was Better Homes and Gardens, I don't recall, but she looked greasy, and could that possibly, maybe, lead to the downfall of Western civilization? It only makes sense. Plus, someone did, some blam blam, pow 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 at a Super Bowl party. Multiple people are dead, blood spilled, life's ruined, and you simply have to ask, is that also the fault of KRISTEN Stewart not washing her hair? All of that and more, possibly, don't get your hopes up, will be revealed when the show starts right pronto. Hi guys. Thanks for joining me. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a while, but I have a Patreon, and for only $5 a month, you get a weekly bonus episode. And did you know that it doesn't have to be $5? You can give as much as you want. $10, $20, hell, if you want, you could send a one-time or even recurring, why not, payment of $17,000, which, and this is a total coincidence, is the exact amount of money I need to pay back all the Trump sneakers I bought.
This is also a financial advice show. Get your money up, not your funny up. Booyah!
And just look at these things. How can you possibly not see a guaranteed high-paying investment? They are covered in gold. They are covered in actual gold. They are covered in actual gold paint. Listen, it is Black History Month, and you know those people love sneakers, and they are also way more fond of Trump than you might expect. So I assumed that my little investment of $17,000, which I managed to save up by selling sperm, mostly my own, would be turned into 50 or even 100,000, possibly million in no time flat. And then I would, of course, go invest all that money into Dogecoin and /or Twitter stock, and then boom, I have Elon Musk's phone number. And then we can share dank memes, okay? Name one problem with that plan. His memes are like really random. So if you could please just consider, okay? I cannot force you as of yet. Please just consider maybe signing up for the Patreon. And I don't know, several orders of magnitude above the suggested amount. And maybe if you're a kindergartner or one of my 13-year-old boys who subscribed to this channel after they got kicked off the Stormfront message boards for being too racist, maybe consider going into your parents' wallets, okay? Take out one of those little pieces of plastic and what the hell am I talking about? You're 13. You know what I'm saying. Steal your parents' credit cards, okay? Go take them and sign up for the Patreon. I am officially and legally recommending you commit theft. And that's why, honestly, it's completely reasonable to both deny the Holocaust and think we should send more guns to Israel. It's really the only moderate position. All right, now that I've gotten my financial situation figured out, oh, also, one more thing. I do owe the city of Columbuston, Ohio, another couple $1,000s in parking tickets, which is weird because I don't own a car, but whatever, crank up those Patreon donations again. All right, guys? Okay, now we got all the financial business out of the way. All right, maybe put the Patreon link up there or there, wherever it is, doesn't matter. Now it's time to get on with the news. Today's top story, which of course is journalism for first thing we're talking about, is yet another mass shooting. Which is wild because I think this makes easily 5, possibly 6 mass shootings in the past 10 years, which I think is way too much, okay? And as you know, the vast majority of these shootings have been committed by, of course, trans people who are very annoying on social media. Listen, we all know, okay, that it starts by complaining that the white male patriarchy robbed Greta Gerwig of a Best Director nomination, and the next thing you know, you're bringing an AR-15 to a high school because they don't have enough gender-neutral bathrooms.
If Gerwig should have gotten in, which of the 5 do we cut, huh, Trier? She's a darling of the European branch. Get a clue.
Now, this most recent mass shooting, which of course happened at a parade for Super Bowl winners, the Kansas City Chiefs, who of course don't exist and are a psyop designed to facilitate white genocide, was not in fact perpetrated by a trans woman, despite an earlier report by a number of irresponsible, disgusting journalists. And also me, I also reported that. I'm a guy who's normally very responsible, but can occasionally be mistaken if they have low blood sugar. And we all should have known they were wrong, because it is never trans women doing the shooting. They are, quite frankly, cowards. But when a chick decides she's actually a dude and stuffs a cucumber down their jockeys, all of a sudden, they're aware of tactical strategy. They know how to field strip an aerial precision M4E 116 5.56 mid-length upper Atlas handguard. Dudes rock. That's all I'm saying. Now, this particular shooting was in fact committed by two men of indiscriminate age, name, and race. And honestly, it's tough, because in Kansas City, people popping off with guns could really be black or white. It's not like inner city Chicago or the Appalachian Mountains. You'd know the deal there. Okay? Anyway, 20 people are dead. And whenever that's the case, you simply have to ask, how does Kyle Rittenhouse feel about this? You might remember Kyle. He's a personal friend. I'm legally no longer allowed to Snapchat him. A few years back, during the destructive and anti-American Black Lives Matter protests, he took a gun to one of the least exciting places in southwest Wisconsin and accidentally, through self-defense, did a big whoopsie and exercised his Second Amendment rights to purge a number of degenerates and cleansing hellfire like the agent of God he is and always shall be, inshallah. Now, you might be asking, Steve, why are you naming Kyle Rittenhouse? But yet at the same time, no one knows the name of these two possibly Puerto Rican, we don't know, just a guess, Kansas City parade shooters. Is it because Kyle Rittenhouse was protecting his community? Something they, 3 parentheses, don't want you to do. You see, this is the game they play. It's a dirty game, and they play it unfairly. Oh, the tangled webs we do weave when we like to deceive. But at the end of the day, they want you hiding indoors, afraid of the literally 17 million immigrants crossing the border every single day to fuck your wife and date your son. They want you weak so that they may be strong. You know, kind of reminds me of this time when I was applying for a job many years ago. I applied to wash dishes, and I walk in with my resume, which I had written on the back of a Red Lobster kids menu, but also I had done the maze on the front, so I think it's a pretty good CV, as the old British call it. And then another guy walked in, and he was straight up homeless, and I was like, damn, this guy needs a job worse than I do. And then that man turned out to be none other than, wait for it, Johnny Depp, star of course, the Mordecai series of films. And then that Johnny Depp actually turned out to just be a homeless guy. I was right the first time. He didn't even look that much like Johnny Depp. He just had long hair. And that story right there, that's why we need to name these shooters, okay? And I think they're both trans women. And as soon as I get their addresses, I will share it with all of my X.com followers. All right, guys, next story.
Second story.
KRISTEN Stewart, if that is her real name. It might be pronounced Kristen. I don't know. Don't want to know. She recently did a cover story for Rolling Stone magazine, which used to be a proud anti-establishment punk rock magazine. They raged against the machine, but now they sell out to the woke agenda. And Miss Stewart did a cover story to promote her new movie, which I believe is called Avatar 3, The Way of Baby Oil. I think she's playing a majestic Chirrut rider of the Bonchan Navi clan. They're made of smoke and they reproduce asexually, but that's not important. What's important is, of course, the photo shoot she did, wherein she applied men's underwear to her nether regions, opted out of any makeup whatsoever, and of course, was sending subconscious signals convincing little boys to sit down to pee and little girls to stand up to poop. And this is what the radical left tries to do. Undermine traditional family values like all men being attractive and only men wearing jockstraps when they play sports with potential penile injuries. Okay? Such sports include, but are not limited to, football, basketball, and of course, Bulgarian ping pong, where they just tie the paddle to their scrotum. And the mainstream media, all of them, radical, communist dingus. Chris Cuomo burns down bare minimum 1 AutoZone a day. They've all reacted, as you might expect, by in fact venerating KRISTEN Stewart, and also her name might be Kristen, claiming she is a beautiful and talented actress, and also claiming that all of us moderate centrists are in fact terrified of their cover, and heavily implying that we wear a beanie all day due to being bald and having a birthmark that's shaped like a butthole. Lies, lies, gay lies. Listen up, Rolling Stone. First off, I'm not a right-winger. I believe in a number of left-wing policies, like maybe we should sometimes do abortion, but we should never do racism. But when the Democratic Party, they're out there advocating for such radical, insane things as doing all abortions all the time and racism against white men being okay as long as you can make fun of their penis and balls, I simply have to leave the left. But more importantly, I'm not terrified of Kirsten Stewart. She's not a snake or a clown or producer Nancy Mom after 6 Bacardi breezes. I don't think about Kirsten Stewart much at all. I haven't seen too many of her movies. After Twilight, she dropped off. I mean, sure, she got a lead actress nomination for Spencer, but the film ended up being divisive, and her early season frontrunner status quickly dissolved, leaving a vacuum that Jessica Chastain ended up filling. And also, Timothy Spall was actually better in the movie as her, but he had no buzz at all. I don't think about Kirsten Stewart much at all, but when I do think of her, something occurs to me. And keep in mind, I have no beef with her. And I mean absolutely no disrespect. You live your life, K-Stew. I wish you nothing but the best. But I think, and again, no offense, you absolutely look like congealed liquid shit that got slowly dripped out of a dying wolf's asshole. I have never had less of an erection. My penis is actually retreating into my body, and it is taking every ounce of resolve I possess to not vomit all over my keyboard when presented with your unkempt, disgusting visage. I've seen cartel beheading videos that I found more visually appealing than whatever is going on in those photographs, which should be made illegal by an international court, so help us God. Again, no offense, okay? But, okay, just a second. I'll go back to talking about how profoundly unpleasant Kirsten Stewart is, okay? I'll go right back to that. But first, I do have to read today's ad. Today's episode of the Vongino Predicament is sponsored by, So apparently I was wrong. Kristen Stewart's new movie is actually called Love Lies Bleeding, and they sponsored this episode. Can we maybe pre-screen ad reads? Look like a freaking jackass. Anyway, here's a commercial for this disgusting movie that will, in some way, lead to the downfall of the West. But maybe you should buy a ticket to it.
The excitement in the air is palpable. The atmosphere is electric.
Ugh.
A celebration of history in the making.
Disgusting.
What is this place? You're looking pretty good.
Barf
There.
City.
There's some pretty serious lines
Yeah.
going. Yeah?
I hate it.
Why don't
Ugh.
you want me working for your dad? Well, he's a psycho. Saw that big girl.
That you two may be
Gross.
together.
Do you like guns?
I prefer to know my own strength.
That's not what I'm paying you for.
If you touch her, I'm gonna tell them everything you ever did.
Are you threatening me?
We gotta get out of here. Let's just keep driving.
I fucking love you, you idiot. I love you too.
You'll regret this.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, go see that, I guess, especially if you're a lesbian. Seems like the movie was designed to get you all horned up in a movie theater, and God knows you deserve it, okay? Y'all haven't had a picture just for the gals since, I don't know, Waiting to Exhale. I don't know what lesbians are into, and quite frankly, I don't want to know. That's your business. Go you live your life, okay? Be happy. I totally encourage that, but a few things, just couple pointers, write this down. A, stop trying to push it on the kids via mentioning it in schools or while waiting in line in Disneyland. And B, would it kill you to wash your hair? You look like f***ing shit, Kirsten Stewart, and your very existence disgusts me profoundly. Again, no offense. And again, maybe consider checking out Fandango to see when Love Lies Bleeding is playing at a theater near you. Directed by Welsh auteur Rose Glass, Love Lies Bleeding tells the story of Lou, a reclusive gym manager who falls hard for Jackie, an ambitious bodybuilder who's heading to Las Vegas to pursue her dreams. Their love soon leads to violence as they get pulled deep into the web of Lou's criminal family. Rated R. And I gotta be honest, this Kirsten Stewart thing, well, it's personal to me. I've seen people give up on life so completely that their hair is literally greasy, and you no longer even want to sleep with them. It's really sad, but I've seen it over and over again. You see, my hometown, Columbuston, Ohio, we have a serious problem with, of course, flaming hot Funyuns, also, opioids, but mostly the flaming hot Funyuns. Ever since they introduced that, quite frankly, melange of flavors, well, There have been over 700 deaths, mostly from opioids. Some from the Funyuns, though, and again, a lot of greasy hair. Point is, more people have died from red-colored sodium poisoning than from guns. And also, most gun deaths are committed by trans people who should also probably all buy tickets to Love Lies Bleeding. I think it only makes sense. And for today, well, the balcony is closed. Kirsten Stewart, wash your hair. You look like f***ing dog. No offense. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I love y'all. I forgot to put the music under this segment last time we did it, last episode. Won't forget this time, though. It'll be there unless I do. If there's not music under this section and you're actually watching it, you've gotten this far, first off, like and subscribe. I need to get to that quicker. Like and subscribe. Do all that. And send me an email, thevanginapredicament@gmail.com, and let me know I fucked up, quite frankly. Like and subscribe. Follow me on all of the social medias, the twits, the X, which has always been called that. I don't know what Twits is. I just had a seizure. I have Tourette's. Twitter, Friendster. Follow me on the TikTok, on the Instagram, and on Patreon. You can follow me on Patreon. Is that a thing? If you just do like a free follow on Patreon, burn in hell. Quite frankly, kiss my butthole and then burn in hell. What you should instead do is give $5 a month. And for that $5 a month, and as I mentioned at the beginning, it can be more. There's not a limit, I don't think. Give me as much as you want, all right? What are you doing with your money? Nothing. For $5, bare minimum a month, you get exclusive raw feeds. You get bonus episodes, okay? You get access to polls. And most importantly, you get an executive producer mom credit. You can know that you helped make content on the internet. Truly, the most important thing you can do in the 21st century. What century are we in right now? Is this 21st? When do we get into that 22nd, man? That's when it's popping off. That's when we get the flying cars. And also, any car flies if you try hard enough. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Got another video coming up right soon. And until next time.
Donald Trump was right. Robert Pattinson did need to dump Kirsten Stewart.
Shut up and sit down.